over. Thank you for joining me. Pet insurance. What's the scoop on pet insurance? Is it worth it? How does it work? How much does it cost? How do you get paid out? Who should you purchase your pet insurance from? That's what I'm going to be talking about today. I get this question a lot, and a lot of times I see people posting on different threads on Facebook, and people will tag me, or I jump over, and I've had this conversation with so many people, and I have not actually done a Facebook Live on this topic. So I thought this would be a great topic for today. So before we dive in there, if you are joining me, let me know let us know what your experience is with pet insurance. The companies you've used, if it's been a good experience, things to avoid. There are a lot of, well, I don't actually know how many companies are out there. There's a handful at least, but I know there are different companies out there. Different people have different experiences. There are definitely some companies you might want to avoid. So I'd love to hear your experiences. And then also, I'm not an expert on insurance, but I can definitely share my experiences over the last, I think I've had experience over the last 11 years, two different companies. So I will share with you my experiences, and I'll give you some tips if you're looking at purchasing pet insurance, if you're on the fence, and things that you need to be thinking about and you need to look into the fine print or ask about before you purchase it. So, hey, Kristen, yeah, it's a topic I get asked all the time, and I've never done this on a Facebook Live. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Before we dive in, if this is your first time, let me just give you a warm welcome and a quick introduction. My name is Erica Bowling, and I am the owner and founder of Northeast Canine Conditioning. I love helping people with their sport dogs and their working dogs, turning them into the elite canine athletes that they are, and also helping pet dogs, keeping them nice and fit and healthy and living long, productive lives. And every Friday I pick a different topic. Today it is pet insurance. So, Kristen, your experience, you wish you had it. Your shepherd had surgery on Tuesday to remove part of his jaw. I'm so sorry, bone cancer. I've had so many conversations, and I know what some of the concerns are. So, sorry, I didn't mean to put my name up there again. So let me tell you, I got a few things I want to share here, and then I'm going to share some of the companies. So let's get into some of the tips first, and I'll talk about some of the experiences, and then I'll just show some of the companies that I've had experience with. For me, and okay, here's the argument that a lot of people make is why do I need pet insurance? I'm just as off, I'm better off putting the money in a savings account. And then, if I don't use it, I don't lose anything. Okay, that's a great argument. Is, if you're good at saving money and you have excess money, to put it into a bank account, and if don't spend it on anything else, save it for your dogs, that can be a good strategy. But here's the thing I would ask you is, if your dog had an accident and if you had to foot a $15,000 bill tomorrow, could you do it? Could you comfortably do it and still pay your rent and your mortgage and your car payment? So, if you have savings and if you have an accident happen tomorrow and you could foot out $12,000, $10,000, $15,000, max out your credit cards if that's how you do it. If you can do that and do it comfortably and still cover all your other payments and everything, then that might be the way to go. If you have a really good savings already, if you had an accident tomorrow and you could cover it and you can continue to put money in the bank and save it, then yes. But research shows that typical American, we don't have, huge savings usually. And a lot of people, it's hard to put money aside, and the money's there and you have other things you can spend it on. So that is an argument, is put it in the bank. But for me, is if I had a $15,000 bill coming up, I could pay for it with savings, but I'm going to feel it, and I'm going to be not so crazy about paying $15,000 out or maxing out credit cards over the next few months, right? Or having a high interest rate. So for me, that's one of the things that I like, the security of having the insurance. But for me, honestly, the biggest reason why I do insurance is for a peace of mind. And I've had how many of you had emergency room visits at 2 a.m, 3 a.m with your dog? Or how many of you have been confronted with a very large vet bill and, you may say, no matter what, I'm going to save my dog. I'm going to do whatever I can. But then, your bank account is really, really suffering from it. And then there's some of you where if it's if you have a $10,000 bill for your dog, you'll be like, sorry, I can't. I don't have the money and it's killing me, but I can't do the surgery. I can't save my dog. So for me, really, the reason why I've had pet insurance for, oh my gosh, well over 10, 11, 12 years is because I've been there, I've done the emergency room visit at 1 a.m, at 2 a.m. Knox had emergency surgery. Bocce had to have an MRI, thousands of dollars. And it's really nice when you're driving madly to the emergency room at 2 a.m. and the last thing you have to worry about is having a large bill. You're worried enough about your dog. You're worried about what's wrong with your dog. But to me, it's such a nice peace of mind to know that if they come at me with a $12,000 bill, I'm like, do it. Do whatever you can. Help my dog. $15,000. Do it. Help my dog. And, if I didn't have insurance, I would still do it. But I would be like, of course, I'd be thinking about the money more than if I didn't have insurance. So for me, the peace of mind of knowing that I can go in and money is not an issue. I'll be like, do whatever you can. And if I have a $15,000 bill, I have a $15,000 bill. And the insurance that I have right now, they pay 90% of it. So, still I got to pay money out of my pocket, but I can do that. I can do 10% of a $15,000 bill versus $15,000 being all mine. So, so that is one of the things. Denise, you said you just got coverage for 3 of your dogs. And yeah, Kristen wish she had it. Hey, Joe, thanks for joining us. You said one company has 30% of the market here simply because they're good at paying out. I've had better experiences with the pet dog insurance than human insurance, better coverage, the better customer service. But yeah, you can put money in the bank. You can say, if you're good at saving, you're good at not being tempted to spend the money, then if that's what you choose to do, that's perfectly fine. Everybody, whatever you're comfortable with. Not everybody, plenty of people think it's not worth it. And I've heard the arguments why not to do pet insurance. But for me, if I had to pay a $15,000 bill tomorrow, I don't want to have to pull it all out of my savings. And a lot of people don't have savings of that. And then, like I said, the biggest reason I'm willing to lose money, and maybe I pay insurance and I don't get my money back, I'm willing to lose money. For me, it's worth it to be able to go into the emergency room and just say, what's the best option? If that's like when Knox had emergency surgery, I had 3 or 4 different options for bladder stones. And I said, what's the best surgery? And it was the most expensive surgery. And I was like, I don't care how much it is. I want the best surgery for him. Do it. And that's why I have insurance, is so that I can make those decisions. And it's not a hard decision at all. I said, I want the best for my dog and do the best the best that you can. And if it's a $6,000 difference, do it. That's why I have insurance. So everybody has different philosophies, but I just wanted to share that with you. Chrissy said your friend is a veterinarian and she told you pet insurance is like any other type of insurance. Seems like a waste of money until you need it. Yeah. And I know that I may lose some money through it, but for me, it's worth it to have a peace of mind and to not have to make a decision of whether I have the money or is it the difference between a $2,000 surgery and a $7,000 surgery. If the $7,000 surgery is a better surgery for my dog, a better success rate, do the $7,000 surgery. So that's why I have insurance, and I've had it for years. So let me tell you of a few things to think about. Charlie says 10 years ago, you dropped insurance on your 4-year-old Doberman. 6 months later, she had a neck injury that required $5,500 out of pocket. Yeah, Bocce's MRI, thousands of dollars. And then we had other things that were thousands of dollars. Knox had thousands of dollars of emergency surgery, and we've had emergency room visits that were a few $1,000s. So for me, even if the numbers don't work, if I don't get out the money that I put in, for me, that's not why that's not my prime reason why I have it. The prime reason is what I just told you. So now here are some things you need to think about, because I've had people who have not understood how pet insurance works. and sometimes they don't even know what's out there to help them, and they've lost dogs because they didn't know about some of the ins and outs. But let me go over a few things. Number one is a wait period. So some people think you can't go and say, oh, my dog was just diagnosed for something, I'm going to go purchase the pet insurance and then I'm going to have the surgery. All the insurance that I know is when you first purchase it, there's kind of a wait period before it kicks in. So if you think that, and they will ask for veterinary records. So if you think your dog, you're going to use it for your dog, you want to purchase it first, have that wait period if possible, let it kick in and then start using it. But it's not something where you're anticipating a surgery or something happens. You take your dog to the vet, it's diagnosed, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to go purchase insurance tonight. That's not how it works. So and they have rules in place so that people don't do that. The idea is that you purchase it first. You don't wait for the injury and then go purchase it. The wait periods, I don't know all the wait periods and what it may vary company to company, but just know that it's not there to your dog gets hurt, you go to the vet and then you go purchase it, and then it's not necessarily going to cover the accident you just had. So expect it there's a wait period for it to kick in. So that is something to be aware of. And you want to check into that when you're comparing plans and stuff like that. You want to see what that is. Pricing. So it really greatly varies. What I like, I use Trupanion. This is the company I've had a couple companies, and Trupanion, I've been really, really, really happy with Trupanion. And Trupanion, I've had them for a number of years. And the way Trupanion, some of the companies, what they do is they have a sliding scale. So you have like a deductible, or, how much money do you have to put down first? And then there's like a sliding scale, and then you can determine how much do you want to pay per month. So if I, go in for a doctor's visit and I want to, for each incident, how much money am I willing to cover and how much are they going to cover? What percentage? Some of the companies have a sliding scale. So you pay more out of pocket and the monthly expense is less. You pay more out of pocket and then the monthly, you pay less out of pocket, they pay more. You're going to pay more monthly. So it's similar to what you'll see in the human side. So, you might have a plan that might be $70 a month, and somebody might have the exact same plan and maybe they're doing $50 a month, but it's all based around what you decide to do with like your deductible and stuff like that. Pricing is also, they're going to ask for the breed of the dog and the age of the dog. So the breed of the dog and the history and the healthiness of that breed, it can affect the quote that you're going to get. So, dogs that come with breeds that typically have a lot of genetic problems, a lot of health issues, the pricing is going to be impacted by the breed and also by the age of the dog. So for some of these insurance companies, you're much better off. You're going to get a better rate getting your dog in as a puppy. And then when your dog is 6 years old, you'll have a better rate than if you have a dog that's 6 years old and you're trying to transition them over at an older age. So just be aware that some companies, if you get your dog in right as a puppy, you're in the long term, you're coming in at a better rate. And when your dog is older, you're going to have a better rate than when you're trying to transfer in an adult dog. Older dogs there's more expense. You have more health issues. So I like to activate my insurance as soon as I get a puppy, and I get it when they're puppies. I had my one Doberman and she was with one insurance, and I wanted to change her to a different insurance when she was like 7 years old. And because I was trying to do the new insurance as an older Doberman, it was a lot more expensive. So I just kept her with the insurance we always had because it was lower because we had her from the very beginning as a puppy. I don't know if all companies work like that, but the ones I dealt with, it did make a difference whether I was trying to transfer in an adult dog versus if I was paying for an adult dog who had been with that company for a number of years. So those were some of the things that I experienced. Erica said many of them will also contact your vet before approving your first claim to contact for pre-existing conditions. Correct. So the pricing varies. Now, here is one thing about what's tough. I've not had more than 3 dogs at one time. I know people who have 5 dogs, 6 dogs, kennels, 7 dogs, 8 dogs. You know, that's definitely going to get pricey doing insurance on 7 dogs, 8 dogs. I know some people, what they'll do is when they have a lot of dogs, they try to guess which, you play the odds. Maybe they're going to have insurance on the older dogs, but the younger dogs they don't, or but that definitely is an issue. Is one dog's not so much. You might have $50, $60, $70, $100 depending on the plan. But if you start getting 3, 4, 5 dogs, insuring them at different ages, that price goes up. That monthly price, you're gonna feel it. So check into the pricing, compare if they have the option for like deductibles and how much you're putting in versus how much the percentage that they're covering. Play with the numbers. I wanted them to cover as much as possible. So I'll pay whatever I have to monthly for them to cover 90% of my bill. And the percentage that is covered is going to vary by the companies. So you want to do some research into that as far as the options when it comes to pricing and what are you comfortable. I'm the same thing with health insurance for humans. Like I want to get the largest percentage. I know I'm going to pay more monthly, but for me, it's kind of this unknown. I don't know what that maximum bill might be. And if I have to pay 70% of the bill versus if I have to pay 30% of the bill versus 10% of the bill, me personally, I'm willing to pay a little bit more monthly so that they cover a larger percentage. So that is how personally what I like to do. But yeah, multiple dogs that definitely can go up. So those are some of the things that think about pricing. I should have looked this up. I have 2 dogs on Trupanion. They're older dogs, like 7 years and 10 years. I think I pay about $70 per dog. I can't remember, but I think it's about $60 to $70 per dog is what I'm paying, and I get the max coverage. Oh, I forgot also, you can add on. I pay for just my regular kind of maintenance. Things like my vaccinations, regular care and visits, just to keep them, their checkups every year. My coverage is just for like accidents and health issues and conditions. You can normally add on if you're wanting them to help cover the costs of like your flea and tick stuff, your heartworm and things like that. Mine does not cover that I pay out of pocket. But if there's an actual, an injury, a health issue, they cover that. But if you want them to cover for your just routine maintenance stuff, usually they have things that you can add on for an additional fee. Check the fine print. Things like cancer. I was looking because like in Dobermans, I had a Doberman and cancer's pretty common in Dobermans. And in the fine print, cancer was, this was a number of years ago. She was not Trupanion. But for her, cancer was an add-on. The cancer treatment for her as a Doberman, I don't know what it was for other breeds, but they covered all kinds of health issues. But if I wanted them to cover for cancer treatment, I had to add that on to the plan. Not all companies are like that. Some companies, they include the cancer treatment is in your regular plan. You need to read the fine print. Some companies, there's a lot of pre-existing conditions and health conditions related to the breed they won't cover. And that's one of the things I liked about Trupanion was they covered a lot of things that other companies in the fine print were not covering. Another thing to read in the fine print is that if you breed dogs, a lot of times they have different things that are not covered or restricted when you have a dog that is not neutered or spayed, or if it's health issues related to breeding. So if you are a breeder, read the fine print and see what things, like when my dog was neutered, a regular neutering they would not cover. But if it was like a health condition, he was actually neutered because it was for health issues. The veterinarians, he was having infections and he was in a lot of pain, and it was for medical reasons. The veterinarians were like, we recommend you neuter him or you're going to continue having these problems. They at first rejected it, saying we don't cover neutering. That's not like a health condition. And I went back and I said, no, my dog is having health issues. We were in the emergency room last night, and the veterinarians, this is what they recommended. But there are things where I remember I was reading the fine print, and there were certain things, like if certain conditions related to if you had a breeding dog, and if it were an issue and they thought it was associated to breeding, that they would not cover. So make sure you read the fine print, especially if you are, double check if you have a dog that is not spayed or neutered, just to see if there are restrictions for what they cover. And definitely if you breed dogs, check to see what they cover or don't cover, or what you might have to pay extra to add on. The other thing is working dogs. I have seen in there for, like, if you have a police dog and your dog is a working dog and they are injured while they're working, they would not cover it. And so if you have a working dog, sometimes it might be they won't cover you at all, or maybe they won't cover you if the dog was injured on the job. Or for certain working dogs, they just they won't cover accidents. So if you have a working dog, double check the fine print and make sure you double check to see if they cover what you want to cover. I've also seen in the fine print where they don't cover racing dogs and sled dogs. So if you are, if you do dog mushing, if you have sled dogs, I can't remember if it's specified like greyhound racing specifically. Nowadays, there are different things that people will claim is racing your dog. So double check the fine print, because I definitely did see explicitly it was not covering injuries for sled dogs. One of my insurance companies, it was not Trupanion. It was an older company before I started using them. But I explicitly remember the sled dogs were not covered, and the racing dogs, dogs that were injured, that was not covered. If you guys know of any other kind of things to pay attention to in the fine print, or things that you have found have not been covered, put it in the comment section so we know. Another thing I had that one company, it was a dog that was having skin issues, and it was related to mange, and they were like, we won't cover it, the treatment for the mange. Skin issues, yes, but because it was parasite related, this was not Trupanion. Again, not Trupanion. This was when I was experiencing all the stuff, and because it was related to parasites, they did not cover the treatment for mange. And it was Demodex mange, and it wasn't like maltreatment of my dog. She was a young dog, and it was something that I was surprised that they did not cover. So Pets Best. Denise, you said you really like Pets Best. Say that 10 times really fast. Pets Best. Pets Best. I've not heard of them. So yeah, if you have a link, throw the link in there. So read. Please read the fine print. I had like 3 different times with my Doberman where I thought they would cover stuff, and they're like, nope, we won't cover it. Nope, we won't cover it. Nope. And it was stuff that I was shocked that they didn't cover it. Oh, wow. Erica said you saw one company that excluded canicross injuries. I had not heard that. Yeah. So Trupanion, like I said, when I switched to Trupanion, I was really happy, because the only time I had where they said they weren't going to cover it was for the neutering, and I appealed it. I was like, listen, this is for health related issues, and then they approved it. So for me, they don't pay the general office visit, like just the first general office visit fee. They don't cover that. But after the office visit, any recurring visits related to an incident, injuries, surgeries, even medical boarding. I had medical boarding covered. They covered 90% for me. MRI, 90%. Knox's emergency surgery. Sometimes they'll cover prescription dog food. So sometimes if you have a good company, they'll cover prescriptions, medications, prescription dog food, and things like that. Like I said, medical boarding. I was shocked when this was a number of years ago, but I was really surprised they helped with the medical boarding. So that was helpful. The next one, I already mentioned a little bit about this, but reimbursement. So what I usually do is I pay my bill on credit card, and then Trupanion, I've had them pay me back within a week. They had amazing customer service, and like within a week, I already had a check in the mail, and I just paid off my credit card. But many insurance companies, check with the insurance companies, but many insurance companies, you can have them pay the veterinarian directly if the veterinarian deals with those companies. When I first got pet insurance, I did not know that I could have the insurance company pay the veterinarian directly. So I just always just paid my bills, submitted my receipts, and then got reimbursed. So double check that. And I had somebody one time, and they had a major surgery, and they were really struggling to pay for emergency care, and they didn't have where they could pay right there, and they did not know that they could arrange to have the insurance company pay their veterinarian directly. But again, check with your veterinarian in the veterinarian's office, because it might be that they don't deal with that company. So double check, but know that that is something to ask about, is can you have it so that it goes directly to the veterinarian? Because that's going to save you out of pocket, right? Even if you're reimbursed, you don't have to wait a week or two for the money to come in. Thank you, Denise. Denise just put the link in there for that company. So so that's how I've managed the reimbursement. Like I said, I was really, really happy. I submit it online. I can just email a copy of the receipt, fill out the form. Don't be surprised if they do contact your veterinarians and get the records. They will ask, any veterinarian that you've taken your dog to. So my dog had visited 3 different clinics, and don't be surprised. They could reach out to every one of those clinics to get the records for your dogs. So don't think you're going to be real sneaky, because if they ask for the records, it will pop up whatever you're trying to hide. So that is one thing that I wanted to mention. Are any other fine print things that you guys can think of that maybe I've forgot about? So the companies, so let me pull this up here. So Trupanion is the company that I have used for, well, Bachi is going to be 11 this year. So I got Bachi in when he was a puppy with Trupanion. And I switched to Trupanion from another company because of all of the fine print and all of the things that they were excluding. I've been, knock on wood, I've been happy with them, and I have had to use them for both of my dogs. And they reimbursed me really, really quickly. And true to form, they covered 90% of my bill, minus the office visit and some of the basic stuff. So that is Trupanion. Yeah, Denise had mentioned, like I said, I have not heard of Pets Best. Denise, that's Trupanion is actually they're originally a Canadian company. Another thing about Trupanion is when you call customer service, you actually get a human on the phone. At least every time I've called them, I actually had a human on the phone. It's not like you get a recording. So I've had amazing customer service. They would even call back. They would call back after surgery. I've had them call me and say, hey, we're just calling to check on Knox. I actually had them checking in on me when the veterinarians didn't. So I was shocked. I was like, wow, this is really nice. They were just calling to see how he was doing. So that was my experience with Trupanion. I've heard of Embrace. Erica, you said you know of one. Embrace does a separate orthopedic waiting period, but you can bypass it by going for an exam. Thank you. I've heard of Embrace. The other one, I don't have them up here, but yeah, I've heard of them. I have heard good things about Healthy Paws. I do not have personal experience with Healthy Paws. Do any of you have any experience with Healthy Paws? I've heard people tell me, as far as what's excluded in the fine print and things, that they've been good about covering things that others might reject. And I actually have talked with people where their monthly payments were lower than what I pay for Trupanion. But again, I didn't ask people what are their deductible and stuff. I believe, does anybody here know Healthy Paws? I thought I talked to somebody, it might have been Healthy Paws or another one, where the maximum for Trupanion was 90% coverage. And I talked to somebody and they had 100% coverage. I can't remember what company it was. It might have been Healthy Paws. I can't remember. Anybody here? Let me know if you have experience with Healthy Paws. Erica, do you know anything about Healthy Paws? Erica said, do you know at least one? Embrace does this. Oh, I'm sorry. I just read that. Your comment posted twice, Erica. So yeah, Healthy Paws, I've heard good things with them. I have no personal experience with them. Now, the other one, this is the one that I don't have any current experience. So VPI, they were originally called Veterinary Pet Insurance. That was the original insurance I had many years ago, over 11 years ago. I think it was my very first Doberman. I had VPI. VPI is now called Nationwide. My experience with VPI is old. I have not dealt with them recently, but VPI was the one that they had all the exclusions and they kept surprising me like 3 times. They were rejecting things. So I was not happy with that. But again, this was old. This was years ago. I don't know how it is today. And VPI, my Doberman was with VPI, and I tried to switch her over like a 7 or 8-year-old dog. I tried to switch her to Trupanion, and because I was bringing her in as an older dog in Trupanion, the price really jumped up. And I had a good price for VPI. It was a good price, but I had a number of exclusions I just wasn't happy with. And like I said, I don't know what it is today, so I'm not going to be talking bad about them today because I don't know exactly what their coverage is. But that was who I used to use, was VPI, before they switched to calling themselves Nationwide. But that was my very first experience was through them. Erica, you said VPI Nationwide, and they got extremely expensive with less coverage. Yeah, when I compared the pricing with Rissa wasn't too horrible. What frustrated me was was what they did not cover, the less coverage. So I liked the Trupanion because they covered more. And also things when it came to some of the pre-existing health conditions, not pre-existing necessarily for your dog, but things that are common in the breed. There were some breed specific things in some of the insurance companies that were excluded. You know, if it's a common issue in your breed, they'd be like, hey, if you have a Doberman and she has cancer, we don't cover it. What I liked about Trupanion is if it was common diseases for the breed, the ones that I looked into, they would still cover it if your dog ended up diagnosed with it. So so those were the 3 that I just wanted to mention, was Trupanion, Healthy Paws, and the VPI or Nationwide. And then like Denise mentioned, we've got Embrace, EMBRACE, Embrace. And Erica also mentioned you might want to do a little bit of research on them. I am, in case you're watching, I am in the United States. So I don't know as far as these companies go. Trupanion, I know they're based in Canada, at least when I very first contacted them. But if you are outside of the United States, I don't know if you're going to have access. I imagine there may be other companies. Pam, you were asking is what Trupanion? I'm not sure what your question is referring to, Pam. You might have to repeat. So let me just pull this up here. So again, Trupanion is the one that I've been, I'll put a link in the chat box here. This is the one that I've used for many years, and I've used it for emergency surgeries. I've used it for the MRI for Bocce, and I forgot how much it was for the MRI and the doctor's visit, and we saw a neurologist, and it was not cheap. And I just put the link for Trupanion in the chat box. So yeah, there it is. I just put it in for Trupanion. So let me pull that back up. But like I said, that is, I've been happy with them. And I did switch over from the VPI. So questions. I did want to add here, any of you have puppies right now? Or do you have clients, or you know of people with puppies? I know a lot of people are getting puppies right now. And so I had a resource I wanted to share with you. Even if you don't have a puppy, please share. But I have this, it says puppy fitness tips for the working dog handler. I made this for detection dog handlers raising puppies. But I have some really great tips in here for puppy fitness, even for pet dogs. And I'm just going to throw it in because I know a lot of people with the, if you're watching this live during the pandemic, a lot of people are getting puppies because everybody's sitting at home. But I shared this a number of months ago. But it does have I have an article. When you opt in, there's an article on fitness tips for keeping puppies safe and exercising puppies. And then I also made about a 12-minute long little video, a PowerPoint video and some slides. Like I said, it says working dog handlers, but it definitely applies also the tips in the article for pet dogs and sport dogs. So I wanted to share that with you because I know a lot of people are getting puppies. And like I said, I like to put my dogs, enroll them in in insurance as soon as I get them. As soon as I get them 8 weeks old, I sign them up. So cool. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I think I covered all the common questions. Anybody, If you're not watching this live, you can always post a comment or question or reach out to me, and I'm happy to share my experience. Or like I said, I'm not an expert on insurance. I'm just basically sharing what my experiences have been, and to give you kind of some heads up and tips and things to watch for and to pay attention to in the fine print to kind of be aware of, because not everybody's been aware. But I think I covered everything. Let me just take a look at my notes here. Yeah. Nobody else has mentioned any other companies. Any others come to mind? Anybody here is looking to purchase or considering? Cool. All right, you guys. So the best thing is to keep your dogs fit and healthy so that they don't need any emergencies, but any health issues, but things come up, genetic things come up that we don't realize our dogs have. Accidents happen. And if you want to have a peace of mind and, have that security that I like to have, and not be totally stressing over, do you have the money to take care of your dog in a time of need? I would encourage people to look into insurance. And if you have an insurance company and you're not happy with it, there's a number of companies out there. I've heard of some really good if you're not super happy, or if you have not looked into the fine print and looked at the details of your plan, I highly encourage you to do it. And if you're not super happy, shop around. You might find something you like better. So, all right. So if there's no other questions, check out our puppy resources. And let me just put up here, if you want to know more about the fitness side of things, the exercise and fitness, hop on over to the Canine Fitness Quiz. If you want to know what's involved in keeping your dogs healthy and fit and injury-free, check out the Canine. It's like a little self-assessment to test your own knowledge, to see where are you strong in your knowledge of canine fitness and what areas are you weak. What areas do you maybe need to learn more about to help keep your dogs fit and healthy and keep them out of the veterinarian's office. and hopefully you won't have to use your insurance, right? Yeah, Charlie, the goal is to buy it and hopefully don't complain if you don't use it. Oh my gosh, I paid for all this insurance and I haven't used it. I've wasted my money. I think that's a good thing to purchase it and not have to use it, because that's the whole idea. I agree. So knock on wood. I don't know if this is real wood. I'm knocking on wood that I don't need to use it. I have had it in the past, and every time I've had to use it, I've been really happy I've had it. And there's been many times I've made all that money back, thousands of dollars over the years. Have I broken even? I don't know if I've broken even, but I really don't care. It's been totally worth it for me. Like I said, I still remember driving that 30 minutes, 3 o'clock in the morning, to the emergency room, super stressed over my dog. They go in, we look at the options, and it's just so nice not to have to choose my options, even if it's medical care based on money. So I've been happy with my company that I've used. So, all right, you guys, every Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, you can find me here live on my Northeast Canine Conditioning, my Facebook business page. Not sure what topic I'll do next week. It'll probably be another fitness topic. So keep in touch. Let me know if there's something you want me to talk about. And if you have any questions now, if you're watching the replay, post comments. If you have any warnings about the fine print, things we need to watch out for when we're evaluating which plan to buy, let us know. If you have any experience with any of these companies or other ones you recommend, please let us know, because I am definitely not an expert. Thank goodness I don't have to be an expert in this area, but unfortunately I've had to use them, and it has helped me out. So, all right, if there's no questions, I'm logging off. Stay safe, keep your dog safe, and I will see you guys next Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Bye-bye for now.